2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Morley or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
This is Shaun Sport in podcast form.
Freo defender Jordan Clark joins us this morning. It's good news too because we're just speaking off air, Jord, about how many years we've been doing this job. In particular, Natalie's just banged out 23 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much my entirety of my life.
Shut up, Jordan.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
So you're 24.
Yep.
You reminded Natalie.
Yeah.
She's been here for 23.
He's a grown man too.
I know.
A grown man's entire life I've been sitting in this same chair.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh, thanks, Jordan.
No.
Because it is impressive, by the way, but some people look at it and go, gee, that's sad because
Yeah,
you
that's
haven't
right.
done anything else.
That's right. Your career hasn't progressed at all.
Yeah, well, the first thing that springs to my mind is, how have you not got bored?
Yeah, I know, right?
23 years.
Have I not killed Shaun McManus? It's probably a more important question.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Clarky, head out to Adelaide. Are you looking forward to Gather Round?
Yeah,
Or
I
is
am.
it just a
Yep.
place you go and play footy and then you nick off?
It's sort of different this year. Last 2 years we've been there, played in Adelaide the week before Gather Round and had to spend the whole week there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right.
But this year we're doing pretty similar, but we're actually playing in Adelaide, then going straight to Melbourne and being in Melbourne for a week. So it actually works out pretty well because we've spent the last month at home. So I think a few of the boys are, the away trips are always the best ones.
Yeah.
So a few of the boys are looking forward to getting away and changing up the scenery a little bit. And I think Adelaide and Gather Round is a great initiative. There's a lot of footy, there's a lot of activities for kids. We get to get involved with.
You go out and do some clinics and stuff, do you?
Yeah, with the community and stuff like that. So it's a pretty good weekend, to be honest.
So you're playing in the Barossa. Are you staying out there or are you staying in Adelaide?
The players, I think JL and maybe a handful of staff are staying out at the Barossa.
What are you just like in a glamping tent at a winery or something?
I think we're all bringing a swag. Just running out the back of the ute.
That's cool. Back to you.
Because, logistically, it's a big thing. So they reckon there's 250,000 people going to Adelaide.
It's unbelievable.
And then they have to, accommodate 18 teams and their broader team.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of hotel rooms and, yeah.
So were you just staying at the normal place you stay at?
No, we'll stay in the Barossa Valley.
Oh, you will.
And I think while we're splitting up, so a lot of the staff will stay in Adelaide.
Yes.
Because there is 2 teams playing in the Barossa before us, the day before us. So we'll wait for them.
There's no room.
So there's no room at the inn.
Yeah,
You'll get you in the stable with Jesus and Mary. Yeah.
I'd rather sleep by myself, I reckon.
Yeah,
That is interesting. With 250,000 people going over, it's so big, it's unbelievable. But every time Andrew Dillon is either over here and or getting interviewed by media over in Adelaide, they're all having a go and saying, can we bring it over to WA because the state government? If you want an event like that, you've got to be at the forefront of it.
Yeah.
You've got to have a crack early days. You just can't steal it.
The other
off
thing
Adelaide.
Melbourne did it with the Grand Prix.
Yeah, they did it with the Grand Prix. We're never going to get it.
The thing about Adelaide is geographically it works because it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of in the middle, but it's not Melbourne. So it does work from that point of view that not everybody doesn't have to travel too far to get there. It works from that central point of view. And if you are going on to Melbourne, it's, what's that, an hour flight? It's not too bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm pretty happy about it. Yeah.
4-hour
flight instead of... Or 1 hour flight instead of 4, sorry.
Yeah.
Pretty good result.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
In the last couple of years, how many? Is this just the second year?
Third.
Third year, yeah. So apparently Hayden Young's dad comes over and he has a big paella cook up at Coxie's parents' old pub.
Yeah, no, he does. Unfortunately, times have changed now. Coxie's parents have sold the pub.
Yeah.
And obviously... For those who don't know, Coxie's dad actually passed away not long ago. So, things will be a little bit different, which is sad. But I'm sure Coxie's mum loves having everyone around. They're a beautiful family. I think Youngie's dad will have his big bowl of paella and whatever he does. And
That's great.
Centre of attention for old Youngie. But,
Yeah.
It's a great family club to be a part of. And the parents make it extra special when there's a weekend like this. So I think there's a few of them going over.
Yeah, it's good because, all the families from Melbourne who get to go to Adelaide
that's
and all
right.
the Adelaide families, but they're really passionate about
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, a lot of them still come over just about every game and watch their kids play over this way, which is quite.
Yeah, good for the frequent flyer points, I suppose.
But it's good the fact that, they are a tight-knit bunch and they get right into it.
Yeah, no, they're very passionate. I think, you touch on a lot of the parents come over. I reckon Cooper Simpson's parents come over most weeks and stuff like that. So that'd be really cool, having your parents come over and, one, they also feel accepted and they're making friends and that sort of thing. Because
part of the gang.
Yeah, I've been on the other side of it where I was in Victoria and Mum and Dad just couldn't get over every
Said,
week.
good luck, son, you're on your own.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't see Mum and Dad for a couple of months. So, no, the beauty of being in a WA team, though, is if you're in the AFL side, you go to Victoria nearly every second week. So, it's not too bad.
The weekend's game was a great result and it was absolutely brutal. There's a few injuries that have come out of that. But how has everybody pulled up after a game like that?
Pretty good. There was a few sore bodies, banged up boys, but pretty good. We had a review on Monday and we went through the last 5 minutes and we all patted each other on the back and then JL stood up and whacked us between the eyes and said, you actually didn't go that good.
So your perception of what happened and his perception was somewhat different?
No, I was, pretty much on the same page, I think.
Yeah.
But, we sort of started off with the last 5 minutes of the game, finished the game and tight games because we'd had a few.
Well, it's just relief at the end, isn't it, that you hung on and fought him off. And
we finally got one away. But so we all, everyone's piping up, patting each other on the back, and JL stands up and whacks you between the eyes and goes, "You weren't that good." So
never as good as never as bad.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
Yeah, it was a great game in that it was high scoring for the most part, and the ball kept coming into the Western Bulldogs forward line, which is you, Sam Darcy. Did you take a run and jump onto him because he's a massive young fella?
No, I was pretty close to putting the white flag up if I was playing on him. There was one point I was standing next to him.
Yeah.
And the ball was about to come, like a long kick in, and I'm just actually thinking, I'm no chance. I think I have to give away a free kick.
Professional free,
One, he's a superstar, and two, he's huge.
Just a unit.
He puts his arms up. Well, he doesn't even have to, and I can't reach the ball. And then he jumps.
He jumps.
Yeah.
What, he kicked 5?
Yeah, too many. Yeah. But
I mean, clearly their tactic was just to kick it to him.
Yeah, well, with someone that big and someone that good, why wouldn't you, I suppose? Yeah.
Incredible stuff. And this weekend against Richmond, there will be a few changes because we know that the injuries are there. Is Nat Fyfe a chance to play this week or is he coming back through the waffle, do you think?
I'm not too sure. I think, two-time Brownlow medalist, he doesn't forget how to play, so he'd be an asset for us. But no, he's been a little bit sore. Obviously, last week he missed with his knee. But no, I think, Fifey's ready to go. I had a conversation with him the other day and he said he's feeling good and that. So, I think if he's picked or if asked to play, he'll play, I think. So
it's going to be interesting if they pick Shaun Darcy because we've been talking about that. Hayden Young, I'd imagine, would come back into the team.
Just because of the paella, Just
for the paella. Old Youngie, you're bringing out that. But whether they play Shaun Darcy or not now.
Yes, I mean, the temptation's there with Luke Jackson out. But what's he played once in the waffle?
Just once.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't get shorter, so it's whether his body can handle it or not. I suppose the game time.
Oh, mate, when you haven't played for so long and you go, it doesn't matter how much running you've done. Hey, George, your first 5 minutes on the ground. Tell us what that feels like.
Horror. Like you see it. It's almost like the first 3 rounds of the year. It's like, why do you even do a pre-season?
Yeah. It's like, did we do nothing? Yeah.
You blow up, but just after half time, and you're like, well, what was that about?
Yeah.
So, I'll be interested to see, as you guys are, what happens. But, I think regardless, Swaggy's got to play somewhere anyway. Yeah. So, I'd love to see him back in there. I reckon he makes us so much better when he's playing. So, I'm hopeful.
I think you're going to be right anyway, though. Let's face it. It's Richmond.
I think Carlton said that round 1 too, Nat, and look what happened there. I won't be taking Richmond are talented. They pushed Brizzy right to the end of the while on the weekend.
Yeah, so did West Coast. Remember? It is topsy-turvy. Good luck. Have a great time in Adelaide. Gather Round is an amazing initiative, and then you're on to Melbourne after that. So, and we're on holidays next week, so we won't be talking to you.
And next year when Gather Round happens, apparently we're doing the show from there.
Our boss said so.
They've said that all week.
That was the rumour.
No.
Just going with rumours.
I'll already be over there, so.
If we cook paella, can we come? Good on you, Jordan. Thanks, mate. It's 7:05 on Nova.
Shaun Sport in podcast form.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Myre or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.
Now, the NRL is in town, but all the other people who are into the AFL are over in Adelaide, which is going to be amazing if you get the opportunity to go there.
Gather round.
Tim Kelly discussed, Natalie. So the West Coast Eagles have decided they're going to put him on ice and make him play in the waffle, which is going to be for the West Coast Eagles waffle team against Subiaco Friday night, tomorrow night.
I can't even talk about it.
Okay, is that a...
It's a statement.
It's
Obviously,
a statement.
What they're saying.
And so one of the words they like to use is to have a selection integrity.
Yes.
So people who are playing well in the waffle should be rewarded. And sometimes, of course, that's not the case because you've got the guns who have been at it for a long time and they're reticent to drop them. But in this case...
And I guess the suggestion is that there's some complacency might have crept in there or lack of form. What do you think it is?
It's lack of form. There's no complacency with a professional like Tim Kelly. There's just not. But lack of form helps you get out of the team.
At what point do you say you overlook that because you need an experienced head on the field? Like when you've got a lot of young kids, and there has been a lot of first gamers. You know, there were 3 last week, I think. So there's
It becomes lambs to the slaughter.
Yeah, it does a bit.
It does.
Isn't it a bit we're that bad anyway? How much worse can it? I mean, I'm not.
I hear you.
No, it's fair.
I
It's
hear
fair.
you. It's just a horrible sentence to come out of somebody's mouth.
It is fair because they've got to. I mean, they always say we've got to uncover what we've got in the shed.
Yes.
But it's hard. It's hard in your first year to come in and with a whole bunch of other young guys and go, okay, we've got the opportunity to play and we can show what we've got. But generally, they haven't got as much as the next guy who they're standing next to.
Yes, like the poor kid that had to play on Jesse Hogan last week.
Yeah, for sure.
First gamer and he gets 9 kicked on him, and you go, does that do more damage than actually, blooding him per se, or does that forge him in steel? Like, is that? It's a fine line, and you don't know until you've done it, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. Or we kind of half talked about it with some guys I played with. Previously, last night, and one guy's first game, Anthony Jones, actually was on James Hird.
Yeah.
Well, after about quarter and a half, he was moved off.
Yeah.
And but he was surrounded by experienced players that have been around. Ben Allen, who you know very well, Nat. But, there was guys like that on the field.
Yeah.
But when you're playing in this West Coast Eagles team and they're undermanning that Jeremy McGovern's not there and Elliot Yeo, who are really 2 strong leaders, and now Tim Kelly, you are left to a handful of experienced players versus 10 to 12 who aren't.
Yeah.
It makes it tough.
It does.
If you're tipping West Coast Eagles this weekend to win, you've got rocks in your head.
Oh,
this
hang
is
on.
going to be...
I've suddenly got more confident now that you've said that. This sounds like a McManusism.
Did you ever get dropped to send a message?
Definitely.
Oh, don't you remember all the papers were calling for his head and dropping?
And that was my mum and dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's brutal, isn't it?
It is brutal. Yep.
Yeah.
So at one stage, I just got called in at the start of the year, and Chris Connolly said to me after I'd finished, I think 4th in the Fairest and Best the year before, and he said to me, "Oh, look, it could be a tough year. I just want to let you know, it could be a tough year for you, Shaun, and we've got to discover where these other guys."
Because I won't know where to, won't have room to put my trophies. Is that what he meant?
So he
was basically saying he didn't see you in the best 22, or that you would be a fringe player and you'd just come fourth in the best and fairest.
Yeah, and so that I think
what
it
do you
was,
have to
I'm
do?
going to say 2000 and I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter about the year. But then, and I didn't really compute that at all.
Yeah.
And I just built a house in East Fremantle, and I was like, when you're doing the maths for those things and you take out a mortgage, I'm going, oh mate, if it was a terrible year, I'd play 12, 15 games. That's a terrible year, and it turns out I played 7 AFL games that year.
Is that right?
Yeah, 7 AFL.
Yeah. Is that why that house never had a roof?
Mate, it's when you got a tarpaulin on and the wind in East Fremantle now, it can be terrible. It's tough. I tell you what, it's tough. But anyway, getting back to it, it happens.
It
happens.
So if
Tim Kelly won't stay there long.
If you were Minnie McWalter, would you have dropped Tim Kelly? Going in with knowing how inexperienced they are at a team.
No.
Interesting.
No. I'd pull him aside and try to get his confidence going.
Yeah,
that's what the issue is. I mean, he's dropping balls, and you've seen vision on the news and certainly on all the Fox stations of like him and Liam Duggan and a number of other players not chasing defence and getting back and helping and giving up the ghost. And that's really because sometimes
it's demoralising.
You've just been beaten up.
Yeah, they look a bit demoralised,
don't they? 50 points down, you're not running your hardest, are you? Shaun? No.
In your mind, but Dave, in your mind you are. Oh, okay. And it's not until you see that vision and you completely stop to a walk at times that you just don't know. But you are beaten.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only round 4, but sometimes, back in the day, they just get together, they lock you into a pub, and then they just, you go for it.
Black out the windows and see what happens.
You go for it for a while.
That's why you're not a consultant.
Tony Modra. And he'll be back winning. Anyway, who's tipping?
Not me.
No, not me. But I mean, you did give me a glimmer of hope then when you so stridently said that Carlton are going to win.
Carlton are going to win
because famously you make these bold predictions and they don't come true.
Yeah, last week I had my first sports bet on football in years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I lost.
Did St Kilda get up, did they? Yeah. It happened.
Shaun Sport is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.
2 words, Revo Fitness. Here's a few more. Simple, 24/7, reformer Pilates, body scanners, massage chairs, squat racks, free weights, pin and plate loaded equipment, no lock-in contracts, no bullshit. All of that and more from just $9.69 a week. That's surprisingly affordable. Join now at Revo Fitness Myre or download the Revo Fitness app. RevoFitness.com.au or find the Revo Fitness app in the App Store.